let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Mama, please don't worry about me. 'Cause I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
This is the Ben Lemos Show. Your game, your stories, your show.
All right. Welcome to the Ben Lemos Show. And today we have Dom Vec back here with us. And today we have tons to talk about. So, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really enjoying March Madness as well as a variety of different sporting events during the month and proceeding forward. But thanks for having me as a guest today.
Yeah,
I'm excited to talk some ball, so thank you.
Yeah. So, up first, we have some little breaking news. NCAA is suing DraftKings over trademark infringement with March Madness. In its statement, the NCAA said that DraftKings' unauthorized use of its trademarks is flatly contrary to one of the association's most deeply held institutional values, that sports betting must not be associated with, endorsed by, or linked to NCAA championships or the student athletes who compete in them. So what they're basically saying is that they really don't want to be associated with anything anymore. They're breaking apart. So do you know what's going to happen in the future with that? Know a little bit?
Very interesting breaking news. Obviously, a lot of leagues are very connected with DraftKings and betting, sports betting overall. But I think over the last couple of years, there's been too much problems with the NCAA and betting with even different. It doesn't have to be with the major sports. It could be the sports that are not as funded as much too. So I think this is a very interesting dynamic, and we'll see where this takes us.
I was thinking of more casinos too. Casinos had many issues with DraftKings too. Like they were like had it turned it off, they reset it, and none of it just sounded like it was going well. So then now is following all the way to the NCAA, the actual company, and now they don't want anything to do with it. So I don't know if they're gonna switch over to they might switch over to another brand, try that. But DraftKings, do you think is still going to work with the NFL?
It should be working with the other leagues. I think because of its trademark infringement, it should use March Madness logos and different symbols that like the NCAA has trademarks. So they would have to basically ask NCAA for its permission, but they didn't. So now there's a trademark infringement.
Yeah. But do you think they would say oh, now we can solve this and then fix the infringement? Or do you think they're just going to be too strict and say you're done?
The NCAA there'll probably be a settlement, and DraftKings will have to pay the NCAA a good amount of money.
Back again.
With situations like this, most likely not, because if usually when a company obviously there's does wrong by another company, a lot of times they won't work together in the future. So if NCAA,
but this is ruining businesses and jobs, because mainly people want to use DraftKings to bet on college sports.
Then NCAA might side with another betting app. So that's probably what would happen in the future.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for all the people that are working over at DraftKings, because now they're running around for another job. Not job for right now because of what's going on with NCAA. Or you think they're just going to say, oh, that's nothing right now, and we're going to just hold off and wait until baseball is coming up, and we're going to focus on baseball.
A company like DraftKings, they're not worried, but obviously this is not the best for their public relations and reputation, but they're making a good amount of money. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, they're a big name company, yes. So just cutting off the NCAA is not a big cut on there.
I mean, it definitely is big because there's so many different sports like football, basketball, baseball, hockey, all that kind of stuff.
All of the NCAA.
But there is a lot of they still have partnerships with a lot of the obviously professional sports leagues and both domestically and internationally. So I don't think it's going to hurt them too much, but it could affect their reputation overall.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next topic. We're going to be running through the quick update of what is going on right now in NCAA basketball for the men's. So as of right now, Iowa is sent reigning national champions Florida packing from the NCAA tournament. The top seed falling 73-72 in the second round. Wow. So was that expected to happen of Iowa at all? It was just, or do you think Do you think they were too, or you think Florida was too cocky in that moment? Like they were like, "Oh my God, we just won. We're gonna be doing fine," and then right as soon as towards the end of the game they lose.
Definitely an upset. I think I saw that Florida had come back into the game.
Yeah.
And obviously the defense on the last play was a little suspect, and a couple of people I saw saying about different coaching points that they probably should have been used in that situation. But definitely an upset. Like Iowa was a decent team in the Big Ten, but now with wins over Clemson and Florida in the first and second rounds going to the Sweet 16, definitely a lot of momentum going forward. They have players such as Bennett Sturts who really can light it up, and really with their experience with some of the opponents that they played in the Big Ten and non-conference play, can definitely have a big impact for them going forward.
And then also another thrilling win was Nebraska's win over Vanderbilt, with it being 74-72. That was also another tight win because Tyler Tanner's game winner, he went in and out as we have seen before in the film. So what are your thoughts on that with the win? Because it was very close, another one. So.
A lot of the Nebraska players were really saying like they thought that it went in, and then they realized it didn't, and then they went and then they celebrated.
They celebrated.
It's definitely a crushing
Really,
loss for Vanderbilt, which if they had made that would have been to the Sweet 16, and it would have been a great win. Really even somewhat a program-defining win for the Commodores, who hadn't had much success as of late. But for Nebraska, they had never won any NCAA tournament games in their previous 8 opportunities. But now they have 2 wins, and now are heading to the Sweet 16. And so actually, I believe Nebraska is going to face Iowa, a Big Ten matchup, a huge a huge rivalry game between two schools that really dislike each other. So it's going to be a great game. We're going to see
great rivalry game. Yeah. Do you think that game is going to be high scoring for Iowa, because Iowa was on top over Florida? They already had that competition, or do you think Nebraska's wanting to have that dog story?
I think Nebraska is the higher seed, so and Iowa's the lower seed. But I think in this matchup, it's going to be a really close game, probably in the 60s or 70s, probably a low 70s, high 60s. It's going to be a really tight game.
If there's another buzzer beater,
it'll probably come down to last possession.
Yeah,
so we'll see, and we'll see what will happen.
So now, so we have St. John's beating with another crazy win. It was a buzzer beater beating Kansas, and the final score was 67-65. And Darling had that game-winning layup, which was really incredible to see. And unfortunately, Darren Peterson, with him having 21 points, that could possibly have been his last ever game. So what are your thoughts on that game in general?
Yeah, it was a really exciting game down in San Diego. 2 legendary coaches in St. John's is Rick Pitino versus Kansas's Bill Self. So 2 of the most legendary coaches in college basketball. Dylan Darling.
They only faced one time in the coaches. They've only faced one time in their career, which was pretty cool to see them face again.
Yeah, a lot of stakes on the line with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. But Dylan Darling, that game-winning layup was his only 2 points of the game. His nickname's Bells, and Rick Pitino in a press conference was talking about how he wanted his number called, even though he didn't have as much success as he wanted to, and he proved why. He's really great point guard, really good addition out of the portal from Idaho State. But on the other hand, Darren Peterson looking like one of the top picks in the NBA draft this year.
So you think he's going to be Peterson's going to be on top? In the draft, or? Yeah,
he's going to be one of the top 3 picks, probably. Yeah, him and AJ DeBanza, and we'll see if Boozer or any other people come in. But this is his possible last ever game. This season there's been a lot of controversy with Darren Peterson, so we'll see how that kind of impacts his draft stock. I don't think he'll be coming back to Lawrence next season, but yeah, definitely a great win for St. John's, and it sets up a great game with the Duke Blue Devils next week in Washington, D.C. So we'll see.
That's going to be a good one. Because Duke's been on top, but they didn't seem too powerful. But every second half is when Duke starts to fire up their engine and take over. Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking is that if St. John's figures that out, and they're like, Duke is going to be doing their thing in the second half. They're going to be slow to shoot in the start, and then maybe St. John's can figure out how to defeat. Maybe if Rick Pitino figures that out, but that'd be cool to see. But now for the next one, we have Texas and their upset over Gonzaga, in the final score being 74-68, and then Modest. How do you say that?
Vocatitis.
Vocatitis.
Yep.
Yes. He had 17 points and 9 rebounds. Wow, that's he really went off in that game. But without 9 rebounds, because that's really tough to get in the actual college game at that like high competitiveness. Like you're flying down that court and you have to get that right move in order to get the ball. So, what else do you know about Modest and his competitiveness?
Definitely a great performance, 17-9, and a big win over Gonzaga for the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. Sean Miller's group played in the first 4, so they went to Dayton and then came up against BYU with AJ DeBanza, defeated them. Now defeated Mark Few's Gonzaga, and now they're going to be headed into the Sweet 16. But this team Texas had a lot of talent overall. They might have underperformed in the season with different losses and a difficult SEC. Mm-hmm. But now with Matas and others, including Jordan Pope, I think they could definitely give whichever opponent in the Sweet 16 they'll play definitely a really great game. And yeah, Texas, a lot of people are saying Texas, this is a Cinderella team, but Texas, with the resources they have, this is not a Cinderella team at all. Like this team, if they had won some games, would have definitely been a higher seed, maybe 8, 9, or even a 7 or 6 seed. But yeah, this is not no Cinderella. This is one of the biggest brands in all of college athletics. So yeah, that's what I got to say.
But and then there's another great win with Tennessee's win over Virginia with a 79-72 as their final score, with star freshman Nate Ament and Maryland transfer Jacoby Gillespie. They led the way for the Vols. So yeah, and then there's the main native JP Estrella with 10 points and 5 rebounds. So yeah, that was a great win. Seems like but were they comfortable towards the end? I feel like they felt comfortable towards the end with the win, but obviously you never stop towards. Yep. You always want to keep trying, because even like I was watching the blowout game between, was it Iowa? Yeah,
Iowa State and Kentucky.
Iowa State and Kentucky. So even with that blowout, you gotta like keep on fighting, because you never know at that moment. But with that being said, with a 79-72 score, you could at one point, when it comes down to like a minute, say like, oh wow, we did it, we're on to the next round. So did you feel like that game kept like going back and forth?
Yeah, definitely a tight game overall. 2 great programs. We have Rick Barnes in Tennessee, and then Ryan Odom in Virginia. Ryan Odom was actually the coach when he was the coach of UMBC when they beat Virginia in 2018. They were 16 seed. They beat a 1 seed, and that was the first time ever. But yeah, Rick Barnes, historical coach. He's never won a national championship, so maybe this is the year. It definitely has some star players such as Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie, who came over from Maryland after Kevin Williard's departure to Villanova. But yeah, shout out Maine legend JP Estrella. Obviously, a lot of people knew Cooper Flagg,
here, so
but in a high school game, Cooper Flagg actually played against JP Estrella, which for Maine basketball, that's like one of the best matchups ever. But yeah,
did you film it?
I did not film it, but I have filmed JP Estrella in the past. So shout out.
Of course.
But yeah, so 10 points and 5 rebounds at the Wells, I believe, or. used to be called the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, and now they're going to the Sweet 16, and we can see what Tennessee. They've always been a really gritty program with some of their stars like Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams in the past.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, how could I forget Grant Williams being on that part of the
team? We'll see how far they go, but definitely a great win, and it just gets you another game. You got to survive in advance. So.
Yeah, shout out Grant Williams. That's a great pull. But for now, I'm going to show everybody what the Sweet 16 standings look like currently. Is it all completed? When is it going to complete?
Later tonight.
Later tonight.
It's not all complete.
It's not all completed.
No, not.
But currently, right now, we are sitting at Michigan with no one to play yet. Then we have the Tennessee-Iowa game, and then there's the Texas-Purdue, Arkansas versus we do not know yet. Then there's Iowa-Nebraska, and then there's Illinois, and then Houston, and then St. John's-Duke, which is going to be crazy. Then there's Michigan State versus we don't know. But who would you see moving on to the Final Four from there?
I would say the best chance of any of these teams in any of these matchups probably be the Michigan Wolverines. They've been really dominant this year, led by Yaxel Landenborg and a cast of different characters. They've been really successful. Obviously a big win over St. Louis in the last round over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is Robbie Avila, and as well as Western Mass native Deion Brown. Shout out. I think Michigan probably has the best chance to move on to the Elite Eight. But I think a game that's going to be really, really good is going to be the Illinois versus Houston game. Kelvin Sampson versus Rob Underwoods. I think I might have said his name, but Illinois and Houston is definitely going to be a great match.
And they're both top-seeded teams, with Illinois being top 3 and then Houston's top 2. So that's pretty cool to see. But then, who do you think is going to face in the Michigan State game?
Most likely, it's going to be UConn, and the East region is going to be the region of death, or some of the best programs in the country. You have 2 Big East squads in St. John's and UConn.
I'm a UConn guy. I want to see UConn go on and win the whole thing. Many people don't think that because of Dan Hurley's coaching. So hopefully they're going to have their head on a swivel and be able to get to the Final Four. And that's what I'm hoping for.
If UConn advances past UCLA in the second round, they'll play Michigan State, and some of those 4 coaches are 4 of the best coaches in the game. You have John Shire versus Rick Pitino, and then it would be Dan Hurley versus Tom Izzo. Those would be great matchups.
Yeah.
And I think that whole East region has been the region of death overall. Like some of the best, some of the top seeds kind of got not screwed, but some of the other regions were not as strong, and some of the other teams can take advantage of maybe the weaker sides of the bracket to advance to the Final Four. So in Indianapolis. So
so who do you think is going to face Arkansas? Did we talk about that? Who do you think is in that one?
So Arkansas played High Point last game. Great win for Arkansas, but in the Sweet 16, I believe that Arkansas. I'm not entirely sure who they're. I'm kind of forgetting a game.
It's okay.
But
no, that's all cool. But
oh, I know.
You know it. Let's go way back in your head and see if you can know it. But if not, we can move on to the Michigan one.
I totally forgot, yeah.
It's all good. But Michigan, with them being in the number 1 spot, who do you think?
Cut that out.
No, it's fine because it shows human.
No, it's all right. Cut it out.
Okay. But with the Michigan, who do you think is going to be in against Michigan with them being a top 1 seed? Because Michigan is most likely they could go all the way.
Yeah, no, they could definitely go all the way. This is huge huge region for them, because they could have a meeting waiting for them with the Iowa State Cyclones, who definitely have shown, like especially today against Kentucky, that they can definitely set the pace and have a great team. TJ Otzelberger, really like a militaristic system that he has there. So yeah, he can definitely lead them to the promised land of the Final Four.
Yeah, but with that being said, we have a lot left to talk about, and we may do another update with the Final Fours and who's going to come out of that and win the whole entire thing, obviously. So thank you for joining. And yeah, so might be next week or next like couple of days, actually. Because when is the next game that's going to be for the Final Four?
Thursday is the first Sweet 16 games.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday.
So we might do that obviously after, when everything wraps up. So we're going to be doing that. But thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have anything to critique about or with this setup, because this setup's all brand new and we're kind of working from our dorm here. So it's all just... it's in work in progress. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Dom, for being here in this another great episode.
Thank you for having me on as a guest. I really appreciate it. I had a really fun time, and yeah, this is the second weekend of March Madness is coming up. So the Sweet 16, then regional final. So with the winners going to Indianapolis in the Final Four the weekend after. So super hyped for this weekend, and we're going to see a lot of good basketball and some moments that will stand the test of time.
No, I'm really excited for what these youngins can show in the Final Four. So yeah, thank you so much again, and I will see you all later. Peace.